What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Vulnerable Moments, the podcast. I'm your host, Joevan J. And as always, we're sharing our most transparent and vulnerable moments. And today's topic, we're going to talk about no love lost. I feel like oftentimes people want us to move on from situations because it's what they would do. And sometimes you got to lead with your intuition and your gut. You have to listen to yourself. Oftentimes we have a lot of outside influence telling us what to do and how we should treat people and what people should do and how we should treat people because they treated us. And I get it. Everybody has something going on. Everybody's dealing with something right now. We're in the middle of a recession. You know, life is lifing. Dating is challenging. I'm not going to say hard, but it's challenging for people. Relationships are getting harder. Time being spent with others, not being spent with self. And you have to, in this lifetime and in this moment, do what's best for you. You know, I realized for me, I was sitting down talking to some friends the other day, and I lost momentum because I was telling myself that I needed the time that I needed. And I'm not saying that I didn't need it, but I did need it. And I'm realizing that in this time that sometimes certain conversations come up and sometimes certain names come up, and I realize how I've grown. You know, I've grown from being the guy who would want to indulge in gossip to where it's just, there's no reason to indulge in it, you know? And I'm also realizing that I have no love lost for people. I don't. There's no reason for me to dwell on the past. There's no reason for me to dwell on past relationships and things that used to be. You know, I'm moving, I'm growing, I'm healing, I'm changing, I'm challenging myself, and I'm becoming better. And when I hold on to what other people want me to hold on to, I'm doing myself a disservice. You know, a few episodes I talked about forgiveness and really diving and delving deep down into what forgiveness looks like for you. We have a lot of outside influences going on in this world today. Lots of people want us to be the bird that flocks together. And that's not what we need to do. We need to march to the beat of our own drum. You know, there's lots of people who've done me wrong. There's lots of people who tried to do me wrong and I missed it. And there's people who did me wrong and I missed it. And there's people who probably trying to scheme and do me wrong, and I may miss it as well. I'm not saying that my discernment is off or anything like that, but what I'm saying is I have no love lost for people who do me wrong. I have no energy for hate. I have no energy to be hating on anybody. I have no energy to be in gossip. I got no energy to be talking bad about anybody, because my thing is, at right now in this moment, at my big age of 36, I'm focused on Joevan. This goal list that Joevan created for himself, these moments that Joevan's created for himself, this podcast that Joevan created for you all, you know, the life that I want for myself, I'm focusing on me, you know? And I have no love lost for anybody who has done me wrong, betrayed me, talked about me behind my back, talked about me to my face, and I ain't catch it because it was in the name of jokes and love. I have no love lost for those people, because I'm realizing that in my lifetime that I got to move forward. There's lots of things that I want to get off the ground. There's dreams that I have to accomplish. There's, you know, kids that I somehow maybe one day want to have. There's so much that Joevan needs to do for himself. And I'm talking to the individual right now who hasn't done for themselves because they've been so caught up in other people. They've been done wrong and been done dirty. Don't have no love lost for those people, you know? Just focus on you. Take the time to focus on you and what you got to do for yourself. Map out what you want your life to look like. Map out how you want your life to play itself out. Map out, you know, who you want in your life. Really sit down and talk to yourself and ask yourself, am I the person who I say I want to be? Am I the person that I'm called to be? Am I the person that I really say I want to be deep down inside? Because oftentimes what can happen is we'll get caught up in being the person that everyone else wants us to be. And that's not cool. I've been there before. Like, in all honesty and all vulnerability and transparency, I've lived a life where I absorbed what everyone wanted me to be. And it's exhausting trying to keep up with multiple personalities. It's very exhausting trying to keep up with being the person that your mom wants you to be, being the person your dad wants you to be, your sister, your brother, your best friend, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents, your friends, distant relatives, new people that you meet. It's tough. And in being that person, or being those people, should I say, you wind up losing yourself. And that's what happened to me. I lost myself in the midst of trying to figure me out. I've lost myself. And that's why I took so much time away. That's why you haven't really seen me on the scene like that. That's why you haven't really seen me around, because I lost myself and I had to be found. And the only person that could have had found me and the only person that could have saved me was me. So I had to put my own life vest on. I had to put my own mask on. I had to put everything on for me, because there's people out there like yourself who's listening to this podcast right now who needs to hear my voice. And I'm not even being cocky about it. It's just really just being confident who I am. I lost so much confidence in myself because people, they pretty much played on my emotions and played on my, insecurities, and played on who I was and not who I was trying to be. Sometimes you get yourself caught up in the wrong circles and get yourself caught up in, wrong things and, wrong attitudes, and you wind up becoming this person that you never thought you'd become. And sometimes you got to have this outer body experience to where you look at yourself, you step outside of yourself, and you say, yo, is this the person you really want to be? Is this the person you really think people are going to look up to? Is this the transparent person that you want to be? Is this the vulnerable person that you want to be? Is this the person that you say, I want my significant other to look at me as, my kids to look up to me as, my friends and family? No. You got to really ask yourself, who am I? And that's what I did over time. I sat down and I've asked myself, who am I? I've looked at the people I've had past interactions with, and at the end of the day, I was telling my boy Mark, I was like, yo, I have no love lost for anybody who's hurt me or harmed me in the name of so-called love, or in the name of so-called jokes, in the name of so-called whatever they wanted to call it. There's no love lost. Like, I don't want to live a life full of hatred. And that's not me. That's not where I want to be. I want to be in a life full of just love and cherishing people and respect and honor and grace and dignity. Like, that's all I want for my life. I want abundance and joy, peace. And if anything disrupt that, then you got to go. You got to go. There's no love lost, but you just got to go. You got to dip. You got to bounce up out of my life. So like now I think this is the most challenging life has been for me, because I'm seeing myself in a different light. And people also seeing me in a different light, and they're really understanding like, yo, this new guy who Joevan is, who he's been becoming and been growing into, and who he's been cultivating himself into, we can't do him like we used to do him anymore. I'm standing up for myself. I'm talking back. I'm clapping back. It's no love lost. It's just, hey, this is what it is right now. And I'm not talking, out of hurt and out of harm, because some people say, oh, you just hurt. No, I'm not hurt at all. Like, trust me, I've grown. I'm in therapy once a week, sometimes twice a week, depending upon what the situation is, And what we got to realize is that whatever it is that you're saying that has hurt you, has tarnished you, or if somebody who has hurt you, yo, I want you to face them. I want you to face the fact and face the reality that you have to face them. No matter how dirty they did you, no matter how much it scares you, no matter how fast your heart beats, or no matter how sweaty your hands get, I want you to really face the fact that, you're going to be done wrong in this lifetime. There's some people that you need to forgive. Some people that need to also forgive you as well for the things that you've done out of hurt and out of spite. I know there's plenty of things that I've done out of hurt, out of miscommunication, out of not communicating, out of, the fear of people pleasing. Like, that's been like one of the hardest things for me to like break free from is people pleasing. In Malay, we talk about being a recovering people pleaser, where it's like, yo, we're doing things for us now. We're not doing things because we want to please people. I've done that my entire life, where I wanted to please people because of, in my past life, I just felt I just didn't get, people didn't please me, or they didn't do what was for me. So I'm like, yo, I got to do things to make you feel I gotta make myself to feel valued. I gotta do things to make me feel valued. So whatever you want me to do, I'll do for you. What's up, family? Hey, Joevan J Palmer here. Hey, I'm glad you are enjoying the episode right now, but take a moment and pause real quick. I want you to write down this website, www.andnowweheal.com. This is a community I've been working on for quite some time where I just want people to come together and start loving on each other and healing together. I realized that it was a tribe that helped me to become the best version of myself. My most confident self was through my tribe. And now I want to extend my tribe to you all where we come together 1-2 days a week and we just talk about whatever we got going on in life. You know, I understand access to therapy sometimes can be a little expensive and it's hard, you know, finding a tribe and finding a safe space. And I want you to have a safe space with the community called And Now We Heal. You ask yourself, I've done this, I've gotten, you know, the good money, I've gotten the family and the kids. What do I do now? You heal. You start healing. So go to www.andnowweheal.com, join myself and my brother Alex Fowler as we help you on your healing journey and your emotional intelligence and journey. You know, I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited that you're going to join us. www.andnowweheal.com. We out. Back to the episode. In the midst of it, I got burnt. They profited, they gained from it, and I got burnt. And there's no more of that. And this is to my recovering people pleasers. Yo, take a step back. Take a few steps back and really reassess who you are in this life right now. Whatever age you are right now, wherever you are listening to this, I want you to take a moment and be vulnerable with yourself and reassess your life. You know, really look at your life and really ask yourself, the things that I'm doing, am I doing it because this is what I want to do? This is what I need to do. This is what I have to do. Or are you doing these things because somebody said this is what you should do? I see that you're good at this and this is what you should do. Or, hey, I'm gonna shape you and mold you into a little me because, you know, I see you and me. And sometimes what happens is when people see us and them or them and us, when people see them and us, what they see is their traumatic self. Sometimes people don't see their healed selves, you know? So you got to ask them, are you okay? The person you see in me that is of you, is it the healed version of you or the healing version of you, should I say? Or is it the, you know, the hurt, the bitter, the traumatic you? That's the question you got to ask people nowadays is, who do you really see? What part of you do you see? What version of do you see? Do you see the person who you are today, who's grown, who's made, you know, millions of dollars, who has a great family, who has a great livelihood, has a great spiritual relationship with God? Or are you seeing the unhealed version of yourself inside of me? That's what you got to ask people when they say, yo, this is what I see in you. Because people all see, I see this in you, I see that in you. And I was like, oh, word. And it got me excited. Yo, I was really, back in the day, I used to be very easily pleased. And, you know, you just like, it didn't take much to please me. Even now, it's still like nowadays, it really don't take much. I'm a simple guy. I admit it. I'm a very simple guy to where it's just, I don't need a lot. And sometimes I realize in my not needing a lot, sometimes I've allowed people to just give me less than and allow myself to give myself less than. And that's why I find myself sometimes falling behind because I feel that, you know what, you only deserve or you only need less than. And there's no love lost to myself because, you know what, Joevan, you're growing, you're learning. Lots of things you didn't learn in your lifestyle that you just got to learn right now. And I'm learning that, you know what, as I'm growing and I'm learning more about myself, that it's time to give yourself grace. In this lifetime, there's no love lost because you need to give yourself grace. Yes, you're going to hurt somebody. Yes, you're going to hurt yourself. Yes, people are going to hurt you. But give grace. Give grace where grace is due. Give grace where there's places where you feel grace isn't needed or deserved. Because it's not up to you to actually, you know, throw that thing out there. It's up to you just to give it and allow it to be what it needs to be. Step away, give it, step away, give it, step away, give it, step away. Because there's going to be a moment in life where you're going to F up and you're going to need some grace. Like, you got to be the example that people need these days. Because people are hurting. People are crying out for help without crying out for help. They need help. They need they need a healed version of you, because if you don't heal, then what's going to happen is this, the domino effect that's supposed to happen, it's not going to happen. So I want you to really just take some time and say, you know what, assess the people who've hurt you in life, the things that you've done wrong to hurt yourself, and just assess and just say to yourself, yo, it's no love lost. I love you, but it's no love lost. But right now, this is the boundary I got to set with you. You know, my therapist, she was telling me, yo, that you got to set a boundary with work. Take an hour off for a nap. Take an hour off for a walk. Ground yourself in nature. You know, she was telling me, yo, like, even just telling me how the systems of work and how those things are played against it. Like a lot of us in the African American culture, we wind up taking oppression and putting it on our own people. Don't even realize it sometimes. We wind up being the slave master to our people because we feel they deserve it because this is how somebody treated me. And I'm recognizing that, yo, people are walking around in the name of trauma acting like it's cool, and it's not. And you got to be so self-aware. You got to be so discerning that you see people who are walking around who are hurting, who got trauma, who got baggage, who got luggage that they're carrying with them. People are literally carrying this stuff around on a daily basis, and they're spewing it out on others. They're spewing it out on you. They're spewing it out on our kids. They're spewing it out on our families because they don't have the version of you that they wish they had. This growing version of you, this healing version of you, this, trying version of you, this changing version of you. They don't have that. And if they don't have that, they'll do whatever in their power is to bring you down. In this lifetime, you got to find your tribe. Shout out to my tribe. Y'all know who y'all are. It's too many names to mention. Shout out to y'all. I've recognized that I even had to get back to my tribe. Because sometimes I kind of dipped away from my tribe in the name of entrepreneurship, in the name of business, in the name of grinding. And I said that with air quotes for my listeners. Get back to the people who really show up for you. The people who love you. The people who love you for you. And they say, you know what? It's no love lost. The story in the Bible talk about the prodigal son. You might be the prodigal friend. You might be the prodigal brother, the prodigal sister, the prodigal daughter, the prodigal son, the prodigal uncle, whatever it may be. You might be the prodigal something. Get back to the people. Get back to your tribe. The tribe that say, yo, it's no love lost. Whatever you need, I got you. There's people who are really going for your best interests, who really know you. I have people who know me through and through. They see me, they see through me, they see me up and down. And I can't even hide if I wanted to from these people because they're going to find me and they're going to find what's going on with me. And I appreciate that about them. And in this season right now, we're in the fall season and things are changing. Life is changing. Leaves are changing. And so are you. And if we look at a tree, we look at a plant. I wish I had one close to me, but I don't. But it's imagine, that my hand is this plant. And if you're listening, utilize your imagination for me real quick. A tree loses branches and it loses leaves every day. A branch falls, a leaf falls. Maybe whatever's in the tree may fall as well. There's some things in you that got to fall and change. This may be your season to change and to develop into the person that you need to be. Right now, we're in the year of 2023, and 2023 kind of zoomed by us. We're in October right now. And you got to ask yourself, do I want to change or do I want to hold on to these branches that don't need to be held on to? Do I want to remain the same person that I was back in 2022 and 2023? Where do I see myself in 2024? Where do I want to place myself? Really envision that and just say, yo, I can do this. If I can see it, I can be it. If I believe it, it'll come to fruition, So when seasons change, you need to change with the seasons. You don't need to be holding on to dead weight. Don't be holding on to that dude who doing you dirty, that girl who doing you dirty. Let them go. It's no love lost, but I got to do what's best for me. A lot of us are trauma bonding right now where we feel like, you know what? Your trauma matched my trauma. It's cute. We mesh well. We can talk about our stuff. We can spew stuff on each other and hope that we do this in the name of healing. But it doesn't work that way. Yo, for real, if you don't have one, I need you to find one. Find one that fits your budget and find one that, you vibe with. And that one person I'm talking about is a therapist. Oftentimes, it was therapy that really changed my life. To help me open up my eyes and really see people for people and things for things and life for life. My therapist really I've had 1-2 therapists thus far and I still have a relationship with both of them. And my therapist really helped me to see Joevan. And, as they help me to see me, I got to come to terms and grips with the reality of who I am right now. and what I'm not doing for myself, and how I'm not doing these things for myself, and why I'm not doing these things for myself, and why I'm not showing up for myself, and why I'm not allowing people to show up for me. And you can look back at all that stuff, and you can be down on yourself. You could be, crying on down and out, all that stuff about yourself, and you don't need to be. Just tell yourself, yo, I'm extending grace to myself. There's no love lost. Let me just pick myself back up and keep it pushing. That's it. There's no love lost in this thing called life. There's no need to have hatred towards anybody or yourself. There's no need to just try to change for anybody. There's no need to try to be somebody else because that's what they want you to be. My hoodie that I got on, shout out to Brenton, it says, be you, they'll adjust. And I probably bought maybe 2 hoodies and a shirt. Like, I just love the brand and the message that it says, be you, they'll adjust. Because you find yourself trying to be somebody else all the time, and they're like, okay, cool, you just gonna keep my vibing and matching my energy. I'm like, nah, you gotta match my energy. Be you, they will adjust. It's no love lost. It's no hurt, no hatred out here. I know I've been done wrong. I've been done dirty. I've let it go. I stopped holding on to it because I don't want to be the guy who is 37 years old still holding on to what happened to me at 35 and 36. I've grown past what happened to me at 12 years old, my molestation and all that types of stuff. Yes, it still is a part of me. Yes, the trauma is still within me, but it does not rule me. And I'm thankful that I've grown past that guy. I'm thankful that I'm not the guy, who was living a DL life once upon a time. I'm thankful that's not me anymore, and I've grown past that. I'm thankful for my growth. And you got to be, I'm like, everything that I've done in my past, the good, the bad, and the ugly, I don't hold anything against myself anymore. Because that's just who I was. I was growing. I was going through trauma. I was going through life. I was surviving. I was just doing what I could to survive. And in that thing called survival, you wind up doing some things that, hey, you may quote unquote regret. But like Jay-Z said, you got to learn to live life without any regrets. So learn to live your life without any regrets. I want you to be you. Allow for them to adjust. Trust me, they will adjust. And if they don't, they'll fall off. So this is my vulnerable moment. I love you. Let's heal together. Peace.